what inspired you to pursue a career in diplomacy, and how has your journey been so far while serving in Pakistan?
Literally, I love Pakistan.
Okay.
I say this not because you're Pakistani, but it was very easy to feel at home in Pakistan.
So Pakistan and Philippines have enjoyed a very long-standing bilateral relations since 1949.
That's true.
So how do you describe the current state of bilateral relations between our two countries?
The Philippines is waiting for you. You will find in the Philippines a lot of opportunities for investments, for exports, for business, but you will not know what these are unless you visit the Philippines.
What are the most important qualities of an effective diplomat in today's world?
You are right. We've been diplomatic friends for 77 years, one of the longest actually.
Yes.
And our relations have been very warm, very dynamic. But of course, there is room to grow, and that is why I am here to do what I can.
ASEAN in the South Asia region, and how do you think that Pakistan and Philippines can play its role in this?
The top Asian tourists to Pakistan, especially to the north of Pakistan, are actually Filipinos. Filipinos, huh?
Okay.
It's a surprise to know that.
Okay.
Many Filipinos go to Pakistan just to visit the north of Pakistan.
What kind of message or hope you would like to give to our youth, A, and B, to the business community of Pakistan as well?
I'm lucky to have a wife who is literally my partner in everything.
How did you manage those challenges when it comes to the embassy, to specifically serving in Pakistan?
My message to the youth is take advantage of these tools and use them for a higher purpose. Don't just use them for sharing what you had for dinner, who you were with on Valentine's Day. I mean, those are okay, no?
Hello and welcome. My name is Shafa Khalid and this is Coffee with Diplomat by CEO Club Pakistan. A podcast series where we invite the ambassadors, high commissioners, charge d'affaires to come and share their stories of their countries and to explore the engagement with Pakistan in terms of investment, trade, culture, tourism, education and bilateral cooperation. Joining me today is the Ambassador of Philippines, His Excellency Dr. Emmanuel Fernandez. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Shafaq. I'm good. I hope you are too.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving me the time for this interview. It's totally a pleasure to having you here, sir.
The pleasure is mine, Shafaq.
Thank you. To start with, what inspired you to pursue a career in diplomacy, and how has your journey been so far while serving in Pakistan?
Well, ever since I was young, I've always wanted to live for something bigger than myself. So when I learned that there is a career that actually gives you the opportunity to contribute your share towards the pursuit and maintenance of peace and harmony among nations, I was instantly attracted. That is what actually gravitated me towards the foreign service.
Okay. And how has your experience so far while serving, like while being in Pakistan?
Well, I love Pakistan.
Okay.
I say this not because you're Pakistani, but it was very easy to feel at home in Pakistan.
Okay.
As soon as we arrived, I felt the warmth and the friendliness of the people. You can get by with English. Of course, it's better if you know Urdu, but with English, you can get around. The place is a very charming place. My wife and I literally enjoy our stay here in Pakistan.
Wow, great. So Pakistan and Philippines have enjoyed a very long-standing bilateral relations since 1949.
That's true.
So how do you describe the current state of bilateral relations between our two countries?
You are right. We've been diplomatic friends for 77 years, one of the longest actually.
Yes.
And our relations have been very warm, very dynamic. But of course, there is room to grow, and that is why I am here to do what I can during my tenure to expand and deepen that relationship between Pakistan and the Philippines.
Okay. Excellency, my next question will be having two parts. The first is, like, from your perspective, which Pakistani sector or product, like we have textiles, we have IT, we have pharma. So which of our sector has a potential in Philippine market, A, and B, which Philippine product or service you think has an opportunity for us in Pakistan?
Okay. On the side of Pakistan, you are actually very strong already in terms of exports in the area of pharmaceuticals. Pakistan is well known in the Philippines as a very credible supplier of pharmaceutical products. So you're very strong there.
Okay.
You are also very strong in terms of your rice and cereals export. In fact, you're one of the top 5 exporters of rice to the Philippines.
Wow.
Yes, and also you also export quinoa, for example. So those are currently the strong export products of Pakistan to the Philippines.
Okay.
But yes,
Yeah,
in terms of the Philippines this time, the Philippines exports, you will not believe it, vehicles, vehicular parts,
Okay.
and then these electronic parts like semiconductors and all that.
Okay.
Paper also.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
of course, because
Okay.
but the Philippines is strong in terms of its export to Pakistan. Those are the areas in which the Philippines has a large market area.
Okay, so how do you see the economic cooperation between, ASEAN and the South Asia region, and how do you think that Pakistan and Philippines can play its role in this?
Yes, in the ASEAN, your trade with ASEAN is actually a large one. It's about 11 billion a year. 11 billion a year. The Philippines is also part of the entire scenario, no? But we intend to expand it a bit because right now our trade with Pakistan is in the figure of 355 million a year.
Okay.
That is big enough, but considering how large Pakistan is in terms of your potential as a supplier of products and even as a market of goods, so many people, we need to expand that bilateral trade a bit. And I am here precisely to do that.
Okay, so I just saw that last few weeks back, all the ASEAN country ambassadors were in Lahore at the Lahore Chamber, right, for the ASEAN Trade Council. So tell us more about it. Like, what was it about, and what is the vision behind it, and what do we expect from this ASEAN Trade Council?
Yes, of course, Lahore is not only a cultural capital of Pakistan, it's also very strong economically.
Okay.
The region of the Punjab is a strong economic region, and that is why not only the ASEAN as a group, but the individual ASEAN ambassadors on our own try our best to engage with the Punjab region. In my case, for example, I've met with the Chamber of Gujranwala. So I've had not only meetings, but concrete understanding about cooperating in certain fields, and we're slowly doing what we can to make those understandings more concrete. In the aspect of Lahore, I've done my own individual visit, actually.
Okay.
I was telling the other ASEAN ambassadors that it was my second time. It's their first time, but
Your second time?
It was already my second time. So I was one step ahead of them, actually. But of course, the ASEAN is a stronger bloc if you do it by only as a Philippine, as a country, as the Philippines. You become stronger if you merge your strength with the other ASEAN countries. In the ASEAN, we have 680 million people. It's a large market, very large market. So Pakistan will be very interested in dealing with the ASEAN, using the Philippines, of course, as a gateway.
Okay. So, what do you think? How is the Embassy of Philippines in Pakistan is supporting the business corporations? As you mentioned that you have met with the Chamber of Gujranwala, right?
Lahore.
Lahore. So, what are the initiatives or the plans that you are coming forward? Like, what do we expect from Philippines? In other words, how is the Philippine Embassy is supporting the small, medium enterprises?
Yes. So we are doing actual meetings with specific businessmen who are interested in engaging with the Philippines economically. For example, just last week, I met with the Chamber of Commerce of Rawalpindi. I met their officers, and they're planning to go on a trade mission to the Philippines sometime in August of this year. So we are actually collaborating with them in terms of the logistical preparations for that trip. And it's going to be not merely an optical activity, no, for optics. No, this is a group of businessmen with real businesses wanting to find partners in the Philippines, maybe distributors. So we're going to be part of that. We'll arrange their meetings. They will meet with the chamber. They will meet with the relevant business people. And of course, we will link them up with the appropriate government officials so that this can be moved forward in a faster way. Rawalpindi is only one. Gujranwala, of course, is also interested in going to the Philippines precisely for this reason. And of course, Lahore. Lahore, in fact, has a larger vision because what it wants is not only to increase trade with the Philippines, it is actually keen on cultivating our cultural and our educational relations. So there have been a number of universities in the Punjab, in Lahore, who have expressed to us, who have actually met us with concrete proposals in terms of student exchanges with the universities in the Philippines. They have expressed their keen interest in the nursing profession. Because as you probably know very well, Filipino nurses are world, they're actually world
class. There is no competition.
No competition.
No competition. It's beyond competition.
They are the preferred nurses, wherever you are in the world, North America, Europe, the Middle East. So the universities in Lahore have expressed their interest in engaging with our nursing institutions to learn from our best practices and maybe to collaborate on how your own nursing schools can adopt those practices that we have in the Philippines to improve your nursing education.
Okay, that's great because I feel like nursing is a very important sector rather than having any other. Plus, pharmaceutical use, as you said, the Pakistan has a very strong, step foot or the mark in the Philippines as well.
That's right.
So, beyond like education, we have discussed education. We have to discuss the trade. So, what about the tourism and what about the culture? Like, because for the people who don't know Philippines, let's for the sake of argument, we assume that they don't know. So, our cultures do we have the same culture?
We have a lot of similarities.
Okay.
But before I go to the culture part,
tourism.
I'll tell you something very interesting. The top Asian tourists to Pakistan, especially to the north of Pakistan, are actually Filipinos.
Okay.
It's a surprise to know that. Many Filipinos go to Pakistan just to visit the north of Pakistan. And that is one area that only needs developing, not cultivation. It's already there. The market is there. When people go to a place and they like it, they will tell their friends. Their friends will tell their own friends. So it spreads by word of mouth. So it's actually something that will work on its own already. What we want is this time to encourage Pakistanis to go to the Philippines for tourism purposes. Because right now, our tourism figures are, they're good enough, but they can be improved. We're talking about 5,000 Pakistani tourists going to the Philippines every year. And there should be more. I mean, I know that Pakistanis love to travel.
That's true.
So I hope that through this interview, your audience will learn that the Philippines is a wonderful tourism destination for Pakistanis. We have world-class beaches, for example, beach resorts. We have mountains, of course. You have mountains, but also they're unique. They're different. So, and also the Philippines happens to be a very multicultural society. We have been influenced by several cultures. The Spaniards, for example, they colonized the Philippines for 300 years. So the Spanish influence is very strong in the Philippines. Even our names are in Spanish. Most of our words are
in Spanish.
Come from Spanish. But we also have influences from the Americans, from the Chinese. So it's a multicultural society, and I'm sure Pakistani tourists will like that kind of exposure.
Okay, so is there any ease of, you can say, traveling in other words, when we say that you want people from Pakistan to come to Philippines, right? So are there any air ticketing, or are there any flights that's going on between us, so that it will be easier for them to land over there to explore the Philippines? So are we planning any, if we don't have any, are we planning any something like that?
We are,
direct
of course,
flights or something like that?
Yes, of course. We're planning to have the direct flight to the Philippines. Right now, we don't have it yet.
Okay.
You have to pass through Thailand or China or Dubai.
Okay.
But we are working towards that because we know how important that is in terms of promoting not only tourism but also trade.
That's very true. That is why I asked you, is there any direct route? So you guys are planning. So are there initiatives, are there new initiatives that you would like to inculcate in your tenure? So are there any new projects or initiatives that's going on under your leadership right now?
In terms of promoting the Philippines as a tourism industry, yes, of course. I've met some tourism travel agencies. They have actually expressed their desire to partner with us, and we have partnered with them. There are regulations, of course. Like Pakistan, there are rules that we have to follow, and sometimes we have to work within the framework of these regulations, but we're trying our best to move beyond those regulations for the sole purpose of increasing our tourism with Pakistan. Two-way.
Okay. So in your opinion, what are the most important qualities of an effective diplomat in today's world?
That's a very good question.
Okay, thank you.
Because diplomacy has changed. No? When I joined the Foreign Service 26 years ago, the world was different in a way. The geopolitical situation was different. Even the way political engagements and diplomatic engagements are done were different then. So it has evolved. So I can mention a lot of qualities that a diplomat should acquire or develop at this time.
Okay.
But of course, the most important quality for me is, of course, a passion for doing something bigger than oneself. You have to have that passion. When you join the foreign service, it's not as lucrative as joining the private sector, for example. No? It's not as lucrative as being a lawyer in a famous law firm. It pays sufficiently enough, no? But you have to have a higher motivation, and that motivation should have something to do with doing your share, no? Giving in your personal contribution, no matter how small, towards the pursuit, as I said, and the maintenance of peace and harmony among nations. In that context, we all know that our world is right now faced with a lot of challenges in terms of maintaining peace. No? There's conflict in the Middle East, there's conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and we can mention several other conflict areas. The world needs mediators, the world needs peacemakers, and fortunately, to be a foreign service officer, to be a diplomat, that is actually your main job. No? Next to that is, of course, facility with communication. You know, diplomacy is all about communication. As a diplomat, your main tool is really communication. And communication is not just talking to someone, it's also knowing the art of listening to someone. Listening to their point of view, understanding where they're coming from. A diplomat without communication skills is in the wrong place. Okay. You have to have a very high standard of communication skills in all areas of communication, whether it's one-to-one, in a conference setting, in a negotiation involving a multilateral environment. You have to have that. No? Okay. And last, of course, the third one is integrity. You have to have integrity. It's needed in all professions, but it's especially needed in the foreign service. You have to believe what you're doing, and there has to be a real connection between what you do in public and what you believe in private.
Okay, so you just mentioned that when you came in the embassy and when you were in the foreign office as well, the scenario of the world was very changed, right? The diplomacy in itself was very different. So I'm sure you might have, had challenges over the years, right?
Yes,
you have
yes,
seen
of
so
course.
many things, you have seen so many conflicts. So how did you manage those challenges when it comes to the embassy, to specifically serving in Pakistan?
Yes. In Pakistan, the challenges are the same challenges that every other diplomat faces here in Pakistan.
Okay.
For example, the restrictions. Of course, I mean, we understand the restrictions.
Yeah.
It's actually for our own good. I mean, there are really areas where you have to be very careful if you're a diplomat, because you could be in real danger to be there. No?
Okay.
But other than that, and I'm saying this not because you're Pakistani, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. It's the fact that we cannot go as freely as we want to in certain areas. We have to have this what you call the NOC, the No Objection Certificate. That is the challenge. But the idea that you are in a country that is actually playing a very critical role in the maintenance of world peace, that is something very satisfying. I have to give credit to Pakistan for doing its best to be a mediator, to be a peacemaker in the middle of this crisis that affects not just one region, but the entire world.
Yeah.
The entire world.
Yeah.
It's felt as far as the Philippines. The economic repercussions are deeply felt, even in my country. And all of us have to do something to stop it, to have a resolution to this problem. And I'm glad that right now I'm assigned in a country that is in the thick of the effort to do precisely that.
Okay. So I'm sure diplomacy can be very demanding. So I'm sure you might have faced some stress and anxiety. So how did you manage that? And how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Very good question. But my number one answer to that is actually the fact that I'm very fortunate to have a supportive wife, a very supportive wife. I mean, I cannot imagine surviving in a job like this without a wife who understands me, who does what she can to help me. Fortunately, she was a professional herself. She was a bank vice president of a commercial bank in the Philippines. So she knows how to manage people. She knows how to organize. She knows how to market things. And she actually advises me in those areas. So I'm lucky to have a wife who is literally my partner in everything. The second, of course, is point of view. Stress is in the end a matter of point of view. If you love what you're doing, if you find excitement in the challenges that you face, they cease to become problems. They cease to become difficulties. They actually become challenges that make your life more exciting. I mean, instead of you being crushed by those sources of stress, they actually make you more alive. They electrify you. They electrify you.
I guess that's one perspective of handling the problems, that they electrify you rather than wipe and then you say like, oh no, we have a problem. You say no. It's a challenge and I have to embrace it.
Yeah, you have to embrace it. You have to find the excitement in the challenge. Okay. Otherwise, you will find it a very stressful job. No? Yeah. So I've always believed that stress is a question of point of view. It's the attitude that you take towards your job. But of course, physical stress is a different matter. No? I mean, your body at some point will resist the overload, even if your mind says no, it's okay. The body has a way of telling you stop. No? The limit has been reached. Yeah. So what do? My best form of relaxation is actually music. No? Oh. I've been a music lover since I was maybe 12 years old. No? Okay. I love listening to music. I love making music. No? I play the piano. Okay. I play the guitar. I used to write songs when I was younger, so when I feel physical stress, I make it a point to play the piano or play the guitar, regardless of who is listening. The cat is the only one listening. It doesn't matter. It's for me the best stress resolver, no, in my case. No? And of course, I also read. I mean, literature happens to be another passion of mine, so I read. But compared to music, literature requires time. I mean, to read a novel also requires time. Music is something you can do anytime, especially with the gadgets that we have now, the cell phone, with the headphone there. You can listen to music
anytime you want. Yeah. So I've never seen a diplomat being a music lover. So it's the very first time.
No, you're
music, and you not only you love it, but you make it. So that's again a skill, or that's again a passion I think you have.
No, but I've met a lot of ambassadors here in Pakistan who are actually pianists,
But they don't show this side of themselves to the people.
Well, maybe they're just not given the opportunity to do it.
Very true.
maybe the Pakistan ministry should give them the opportunity.
So what is success to you?
Success, again, is point of view.
Okay.
It's point of view. Success is measured not by what you've accomplished, but how satisfied you are about what you've accomplished. No matter how small it is, maybe it was a proposal to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that got accepted, a minor one, but if it satisfies you as a diplomat, then that's success. Success, like stress, is a matter of point of view.
Okay. And what is happiness to you?
The same. The same. I once wrote an article on happiness. As I said, I love to write as well. So I wrote an essay on happiness, and I said, well, it's nothing new actually. It's been mentioned by other philosophers in the past that happiness is actually a choice. It's a choice. If you choose to be happy, regardless of your circumstances, you will be happy. Even if you're faced with the greatest tragedy in life, if you decide that, no, I'm not going to allow this tragedy to make me sad, you will be happy. People might think you're foolish, but happiness is ultimately a decision, a choice that you consciously make, regardless of the circumstances that you're currently facing in your life.
Okay, so as you mentioned that you do read books as well if you have time, right? So any quotation, any book, any life principle that you have that have inspired you throughout your diplomatic journey and you would like to share with us?
Well, it's a very good question because I love a lot of books. I love a lot of authors. It's difficult to choose. But if you ask me the single author and the single idea that has played a very, very important role in my life, the author happens to be Dag Hammarskjöld. Dag Hammarskjöld used to be the Secretary General of the UN. And he died in a plane crash on the way to a negotiation. But after he died, there was a book that was published under the title Markings, but it was actually the diary of Dag Hammarskjöld, which he wrote in private while he was the UN Secretary General. And in that book, Markings, there is something that I cannot quote it verbatim, but he was in that book saying something like, on the day I found something to live for, or someone to love, to live for, that was the day when my life finally had the meaning that I've long wanted to have. So what he's saying there is a life without a purpose is a directionless and a meaningless life. You have to find somebody or something to live for, somebody or something to work for, and maybe even die for if you must. Otherwise, your life will be devoid of meaning. And that has been an idea that's been with me since I read Dag Hammarskjöld when I was in college, which is how many years ago? Maybe you were not even born yet. No? Maybe 1980? No? Yeah, but I remember that particular entry in the diary of Dag Hammarskjöld.
Okay, the last question would be, there's a lot of hopelessness in this country. Why? Because people are moving out of Pakistan and they are saying that we should opt more opportunities in other countries, in a positive way as well. So what kind of message or hope you would like to give to our youth, A, and B, to the business community of Pakistan as well?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the youth.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. You happen to live in a very challenging world, no? You live in a world that's so technologically advanced. You cannot imagine how life was when I was a young person like yourself. It was very elementary. The communications tools were very elementary, and now you have all of this. You have all of these gadgets that makes communication very easy. My message to the youth is: take advantage of these tools and use them for a higher purpose. Don't just use them for sharing what you had for dinner, who you were with on Valentine's Day. I mean, those are okay, no? But you have the tools, the very, very advanced tools, very useful tools. Use them for a higher purpose, for a purpose much larger than yourself. And for the business people of Pakistan, the Philippines is waiting for you. You will find in the Philippines a lot of opportunities for investments, for exports, for business, but you will not know what these are unless you visit the Philippines. So please make time to visit the embassy, learn about our country, how you can go there, and we'll be more than glad to assist you in that regard.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was a pleasure having you with us, and I wish all the best to Pakistan and Philippines bilateral relations. And with that, I would just like to end this entire conversation on one note that if you have a positive point of view or a mindset, then I don't think anything is difficult for you. You can achieve anything in life. So with that, I'll say once again, thank you so much for inviting us to the Embassy of Philippines. And to the viewers, if you want to learn more about or hear more about the success stories of diplomats, stay tuned to our channel. It's CEO Today TV by CEO Club Pakistan, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you so much.